Good morning. How is everybody? I am early. I am a little bit early. Only a little bit though. I have cold drink, hot drink. I have currently no other bodies in here, although Jojo's just gone to get herself a drink. Unfortunately, Buttons is not very well this weekend, so he didn't come over, which is very sad. But I've got filthy glasses. Why have I always got filthy glasses? Constantly filthy glasses. I also have a giant red spot on my face, and I have no idea where that's come from. So that's fun. It wasn't there this morning when I woke up. It was there when I got out of the shower. So yeah, how that happened, I have no idea. So Caroline's here. Happy Sunday. It's a grey day here. It's actually kind of, a little overcast down here as well, but quite warm. Catherine says morning all. Good morning. Suzanne says good morning. Good morning. Catherine says, I just lost Bob and Chicken. Oh no. And sorry to hear that Buttons is ill. I know, it's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah, so we've had a very chilled couple of days so far because Jojo got here on Wednesday. We were down here on Thursday doing some bits and pieces. I got a dress cut out and a ton of bias binding cut out of the remainder of the fabric, and I still need to cut out the lining. I have to iron the lining and I don't want to, so that's still sitting there. And then I got some of my double circle skirt hemmed, which is nice. And then the day before yesterday we spent clearing out my wardrobe, and I think I actually was going to let go of 12 or 13 dresses.
Yeah, something like that.
Out of 125. There are a lot that have gone back into the future proofing boxes though, because I have put weight back on, so I can't squeeze myself into a lot of my quilting cotton dresses. There were a few of those that I decided to keep out because it was just like, oh, I don't want this to go back into the box. But there were a lot that went back into the box because it was like, I can't wear them and I don't want to ruin them, but I also didn't want to get rid of them. So I clearly have issues, but we know this. Caroline says, hi, Jojo.
Hi, Caroline.
Nimaway is here. Hello, everyone. Hello. So, yeah, I thought we also on Thursday, well, I got to a certain point and then I kind of fell off the face of the planet, didn't I? Just sort of sat there and went face plant. And then so we kind of like rearranged and rejigged fabric. So my quilting cotton stashes that were in these two have moved over there. This is my kind of fancier cotton fabric. So like, oh, and there's a wool in there as well. There's a fancy wool and then the fancy Dolce & Gabbana parrots at the bottom there, or cockatoos, I think they were. And then this is the two coats that I want to make next. Well, no, it's this month. Happy October, everybody. How did that happen?
Oh, good Lord.
It is October. So yeah, we've been, for us, fairly productive.
I think we've done really quite well.
Yes. Done absolutely nothing on my Burderdurdle because I have to film the whole process, and it's kind of antisocial because it's literally just like, shh, be quiet. As you guys have said, I do to mum. Yeah, it is quite an antisocial process. So
you know I'm not the best at keeping quiet either.
Shh, be quiet.
Sit in the corner, be quiet.
Yeah, you don't have your joint heckler with you today, so
yeah. No, I'm going to have to heckle alone.
Yes, yes. You do seem to have a fairly giant pile of stuff in front of you. There was quite a few fabrics that Jojo's very kindly decided to look after for me.
Yes,
which is very nice of her.
I have liberated.
Yes. Nicole says, good morning or good morning. Caroline says, 84 days to go. Shh. Be quiet. Trish says, good morning from El Paso, Texas. Good morning. Joker Cleese is here. Morning, Sean. Don't forget to mangle the like button for the stream, folks. Yes, please. There's 28 of us at the moment and 10 likes. That would be very kind of you. Hot chocolate's so good. I did think about, I was like going to text you and say, should I make you one? But then I didn't want to make you rush. And like I say, there's a perfect temperature with this stuff where it's like, it's good to drink. Too hot? No. Too cold?
Yeah.
Didn't want you to be like, drink it. I don't want
to. Sit down and drink it immediately.
Trish says, but how many days to Vlogmas? Oh, quiet. Conchetta says, good morning all. Sue says, morning all. Catherine says, some good news. I finally tested negative for panini after 11 days. Yay! Yay. I hope you're feeling better. Nimwe says, no, quiet is not the adjective. Words are really hard. Oranges are also orange, yes. It's not quite the adjective I'd think of to describe Jojo. What are you trying to say? Nimwe?
It's like, you know me or something.
What? Priscilla says, morning. What is the tan coloured outfit hanging on the blue rack? They are muslins. So that is the hemispheric coat and the Gertie cape, which is going to get made out of this blue wool and really pretty poly satin lining that I got from the Gold Hawk Road. And we've been talking about what I want to do with my 8.5 meters of red wool that I bought from Lady McElroy. And I think I've decided I'm going to be doing the McCall's 6800. Has anyone seen that Lopsy's making one of those at the moment in pink glitter as a raincoat? And she got it all sewn up yesterday with the hood on, and it's an epic coat. It's the one that I made my green velvet coat out of. And I did have it in my head that I couldn't make the red one until I'd refashioned the green velvet one, because I only traced one length of pattern piece out, and I then drafted my own linings for it because I didn't want to do the lining the way the pattern had said, and I wanted to do a coat facing. And I was like, if I do take apart the green velvet coat and refashion it, I need the fabric for that, and then I can't change the pattern because, and so I couldn't change the pattern because I've got to draft the bottom sweep for the brown velvet that's going to go on the green velvet. And then in my head, it was like, oh, and then you stick it onto the pattern pieces so that you don't waste paper and time and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, you've got all the stuff to make the red coat. Make the red coat and then just trace off the extra pieces. Like, why are you making your life so difficult? You have the paper, you have the time, you have the space. Just do the thing. So I do need to get the cotton flannel for the interlining for coats, and for my winter coats, I do like to have a cotton flannel interlining. It's just my preference for the way that I've made all of the coats that I've loved. So I do need to get a little bit of fabric for it, but it's £5 per metre, so it's not the most expensive. And then for the rest of the red coating that I've got, it's a wool polyamide blend. I've decided I'm going to try this one, which we talked about last week, but I thought this in a red wool, and it's a really nice drapey wool, isn't it? I mean, if I really wanted to, I could make a skirt out of it, like a wool felt kind of style skirt. Like if I went for a circle skirt out of it, it would look quite effective. I'm not going to do that because I want to make those two coats, but that's what I'm thinking. Because I think I mentioned to you guys as well, like I would like to perfect the fit of that Vogue biker jacket, and then take the pattern pieces to Pittards to have a look at their yellow leather and see exactly how many skims I would have to buy to fit the coat on. So in my head, that all makes perfect sense. And I will make a muslin. And I'm glad that I tried the Ziggy jacket. I really am glad that I tried the Ziggy jacket, and it is awesome, but I am not remotely familiar with Starlight patterns and how they fit. So I think trying that one for the first time was a stupid idea. It really was. I should have tried. I do have 2 other Starlight patterns, so I probably should have tried those first to get an idea of what their block looks like on me and how it fits and what tweaks I need to make to it. And I'm not ruling out trying the Ziggy jacket again in the future to try and make it work, but it will probably be based around my sloper and taking the style lines of the Ziggy. And I'm not, because I quite like the different like pattern piece at the top of the sleeve, and that would also mean that the leathers that I've got don't need to be quite as big, or the leathers that I try and buy from Pittards don't need to be quite as big. But I know the Vogue block fits me really well. Like I have to make minimal changes to it. So it kind of makes sense to me to go down that route, but that's just how my brain works. And I do think we kind of like the longer you sew and the more you sew and the more different pattern companies you try, that you do find ones that you're like, ooh, these work for me. And then, ooh, I have to do a bunch of fit issues, or I have a bunch of fit issues and have to do like a lot of changes and tweaks to this company to make it work for me. But I like their style. So it's not like either's bad or good. It's just one's easier than the other because the block just fits you slightly better. Like if you found that with any companies, that there's one that you prefer using over others because it just fits you.
Yeah, Gertie.
Yeah. See, I've always struggled with Gertie patterns.
Yeah, Gertie,
the butterick ones.
Length, I don't have to do anything with them.
Nice.
Which is nice.
Nice. So, yeah. Where did we get to with the chat? Sorry. Oh dear. Clearly swallowed that the wrong way. Like, hello. Conchetta says, oh, is that Jojo? I forgot they were going to be there. Hi, Jojo. Conchetta says hi.
Oh, hi, Conchetta.
Caroline says to Trish, that would be 60 days until Vlogmas.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, sorry, that really did go down the wrong way. Trish says to Caroline, thank you. Are you looking forward to it also? Barbara says, I finished my Charm Patterns Princess Coat Muslin, now making final pattern adjustments and then cutting fabric. It's such a scary pattern. It's really, really, really well written though. Like it goes together very, very well. You can do it. You can totally do it. Nimoy says, I brought crochet to work today. It's very quiet because all the papers were due yesterday and most students are enjoying a long weekend before the new semester starts. Priscilla says, yes, I've been following Lopsy's Pink Raincoat series, super cute. Sue says, I made it into a few vlogs last week at the dressmakers ball. Oh, cool. I've been watching them all. So many amazing outfits, and that hand-painted skirt was stunning.
Oh, that was beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh, so pretty.
I think she won Star Maker, didn't she?
Oh, did she?
I think so, Sue. Did she? She watched. She won Star Maker, the hand-painted skirt. She has no name, just hand-painted skirt.
Hand-painted skirt.
She did. She did. I thought she did. Caroline says to Trish, always a time of cozy prettiness. Got to think of something to do for this December. We've had Coatmas, we've had Knitmas.
What about Pantsmas? Just make knickers for the month.
Knickers to everyone.
Knickers to Christmas.
That would work really well if I got the pit trading advent calendar, lingerie advent calendar again, wouldn't it? Knickers to everyone. I don't think I need that many knickers. And I have a real thing about I have to have matching underwear on. Like, it's a rule I made for myself a long time ago. Because it was the same kind of thing as like me wearing dresses to work here, because it would be so easy for me to just like put PJs on or scruffs on or my dressing gown and come down and just work down here. But I like the things that I make and I want to wear the things that I make. So it wasn't a rule, but it was just like, I feel better when I get dressed up. So I've got my one that I was utterly convinced I was going to get rid of. Utterly convinced. But actually with the red cardigan and the belt, I really like it. But yeah, I did the same with lingerie a while ago because I had so many beautiful ones, because I used to live on Tottenham Court Road in London. So the La Senza, which actually had a size that fit me perfectly and did balconette bras properly, they were constantly having sales and I was constantly down there buying all this beautiful underwear, and I was just never wearing it. I was just wearing these t-shirt bras. And it was like, no, the whole kind of like, if you get hit by a bus, this is what the hospital people are going to find you in? No. So I started wearing matching underwear every day, and it's just something that I've carried on because I like it. So yeah, I couldn't make a bunch of pants that don't have matching bras. I am odd. I know I'm odd. I know I am odd. I need to get over my fear of bra making. I thought I had earlier this year. I was going to totally down to try it. And then a couple of people, and I'm not I'm not having a go. It was helpful, but said that the bra patterns that I've picked are not great for forward projection. It's like, I have quite a lot of that. And so I got the fear again and just went, no, because everything else is going wrong this year. Let's just make all of the dresses. So
you could do it.
I will. I can.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the theme for Christmas, couldn't it? For Vlogmas, like attempting lingerie making. I mean, the first piece of lingerie that I have made was very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Doesn't actually have to fit. And let's not show you the incorrect picture because that will get me banned from YouTube for life. But let's show you the one on the mannequin. Because for anyone that didn't know, I have made a piece of lingerie this year and I'm very proud of it. And it's very pretty.
Very pretty.
But it really should not be seen by the world at large. Come on, I know I've got a picture of it on the mannequin. Where's it gone? Do I not have? Oh, there it is. There it is. That one. I was very proud of that. All of the sliders the right way around. So yeah, maybe that should be Christmas's theme. Yes. Oh, I'm very behind with the chat. How'd that happen? It's because I went off on a tangent. Not like me. Caroline says to Trish, always, I've read that one. So Catherine says, can you share a link to the flannel interlining somewhere? I think I found some wool tweed for the princess coat, but it's more of a jacket weight than a coat weight. Yeah, sure. I just get mine from eBay, honestly. It's nothing special as long as it's 100% cotton flannel.
Truth be told, I just use old duvet covers.
Yeah. We don't have, like, our charity shops down here don't have really, like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my word.
I know.
We get lengths of fabric and all sorts in ours. We've got entire sewing rooms that have been emptied out. Like, great Auntie Gertie has passed away, so there you go, have the stuff. So I'm like Scrooge McDuck at the beginning of DuckTales, diving in and out of the stuff. So I guess I'll have that, I'll have that, I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, we don't. At least the few times that I've been in, the sewing supplies and fabric and like old duvet covers and stuff, really. But my problem with duvet covers is that so many of them are polycotton.
Oh no, I make sure that they're 100% cotton before.
Yeah, no, we don't have those kind of options down here. I have very rarely seen those. But yeah, £5 a metre for cotton flannel.
More bougie than I thought.
Apparently so, yeah. We could do, I was just thinking of like all the things that we could do for the remaining couple of days that you're here that aren't already fully booked. But the posh side of the island, we could go over to Freshwater and have a look at their charity shops. Where's the most, and Sea View around there as well.
They're nice.
I'm not sure if Benbridge and Seaview and St Helens has charity shops in their teeny tiny high streets.
Do they let people with my accent in?
Just be quiet, it'll be fine.
Pretend I'm mute, it'll be alright. You can do all the communicating for me.
Yeah. Trish says, remember to give it a thumbs up. Yes, that would be great. 60 of us now and 20 thumbs up already. Curly Sawista says, good afternoon from sunny, hot Egypt. I am not remotely jealous. Whereabouts in Egypt? Are you by the pyramids, or are you on the Nile, or are you at Sharm el Sheikh? That's the only bit I've been to. I love Sharm el Sheikh, but I don't think it was overly Egyptian. But Tatty and I just went to rotisserie chicken ourselves in the sun for, did we go for a week or 2 weeks? I think we went for a week. It's good. Jokingly says, please don't remind me about Christmas, lol. I have far too much work to get done between now and then, lol. Yeah. Una's here. Hello, Shana Peeps. Able to join you properly for the first time in a few weeks. I'm actually sewing, making a Gertie Millicent skirt, box pleated circle skirt. How is everyone? Very well, thank you. How are you? And I love that skirt. Flora says, hi from Australia, second live. Yay, good evening. Sue says she did win Star Maker. It was stunning. And we were sat with Adele, Michelle, Anna, and Bex. Oh, lovely. Lovely. I definitely had FOMO. I was just like, oh, But it was the right decision to not go this year. It really was the right decision. Like, my bank balance really wouldn't have tolerated it. I would have been getting angry calls from people. So it was the right decision not to go. But I am so sad that I didn't, because it all looks so much fun. But yeah. Trish says, Sian, no pressure on Vlogmas. I'm still appreciating last year, but if you do order Mum's, order Mum's gift way earlier. I ordered Mum's gift, I think 2 weeks in advance from Barnyards in the UK. I didn't think that would.
When did it turn up in the end?
About a week into Vlogmas. So 21 days it took to arrive.
Good Lord.
I know, and it was only the threads. Now, Mum wants a gin advent calendar this year.
Excellent.
She's going to do, she's not going to drink it in the morning. She will open it with us and show you what she got. And then she's going to do a gin and tonic of an evening, because she has a gin and tonic of an evening. And then she will do a review of the gin and tonic that she had from the previous day's advent calendar. That is the plan, because otherwise she will be pissed the entire day, because she is a lightweight and nobody needs that. I think I found another adventure calendar for Dad, and I don't know what I want. I really loved my calendar from Rachel last year, but I can't ask her to do that again. So yeah, I don't know what I want. I'm having a think about it. And I know, like, lots of people are saying that I should do a advent calendar, not haul, but like review. And these are the ones that I've had before, and these are the ones that are available now. And this is where look at this cool one, this one. And I really want to do that. But it feels like I shouldn't do it before November. But by November, half of them are going to be sold out. Like the Think Pink one's gone already, and they won't take any more orders for it, because they're already at capacity for what they can cope with. But yeah, it's sold out within hours.
Is that Andrea's one? Yeah.
Let's see. Joker Clee says, Merry Brahmas to all, and to all, a mountain of notions. Lol. Brahmas. It might end up being that. The trouble with that one is I can show you the finished items, but not modelled. And again, maintain my monetization on YouTube.
Merry Boogmas to all, and to all a good squeeze.
Yeah, how many times go and touch my... You're here! Drink! You're always the one that's calling for drinks every time we talk about boobies. Teresa says, good morning all. Is there someone in the background? There is. There's a JoJo in the background. And where it says, I might miss next week's hangout because it's fabric market. Depends how long we shop and how long you keep going. At least it's not supposed to be cold. I need to write my shopping list. That's a very short shopping list. You just need to write fabric. Done. Shopping list complete. Joker Clee says, I do need to go fabric shopping again at some point, but my wife might skin me alive if I don't take her with. Lol. Well, at least not until I get the sewing room set up properly. Lol. Yes. Nicholas says, you aren't odd. I wear matching underwear mostly, and matching socks, tights, etc. Yes, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Una says, lesson 1, mark the right size of your fabric when making box pleats. I didn't. Oh no. Sue says, the food situation was really bad though. Oh no. Aw. I'm sad. Dressmaker's ball. The Curly Sewister says, currently in Sharm as a stop off, but it's 37 degrees, but on my way to Cairo. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Tati and I, when we just went to Sharm for a week and then came back, and it was lovely. It was so lovely. It was a really pleasant 7 days of literally reading books and just lying in hot weather and then eating in the evenings. Oh, it's so good. But I really want to go and see more of Egypt. Mum's been a couple of times. I would like to go. Catherine says, you could always model on top of a vest like you would a corset. Yes, I could. Joker Clee says, if we're going to do the drinking game, I'm going to need more whiskey. What time in the morning is it there? You're in Canada, right? Or is it still the evening? Have you not been to bed yet? Sue says Roy's material has some stunning fabrics in the knitting and stitching show. Oh, I like Roy's material. I got the red wave viscose from him and the green tie-dye viscose, which I actually think I'm going to have to give to Mum because it's a really muted green and it's going to look way better on Mum than it will on me. The Curly Solicitor says, I think the Fabric Godmother one is still able to be pre-ordered. Did you follow the introverted sewist Instagram of it last year? It was very funny. I did not. I will have to have a look at the Fabric Godmother advent calendar. Joker Clee says 5:49 a.m. and no, I haven't been to bed yet. Oh yeah, whiskey's fine then. That's totally fine. If you've been to sleep, it's the morning. If you haven't been to sleep yet, it doesn't matter what time it is. It's not the morning. Hot chocolate finished. I'm going to go put it by the door because otherwise we know a chocolate monster. Anyone who's new to these hangouts is just like, what on earth is she waffling about?
I've known you for years and I think that.
I mean, to be fair, most of the time I have no clue. Sitting here burbling away, it's a good job I like the sound of my own voice, except I don't. I started trying to edit the dress clear out video.
Yeah.
It's just the dresses, not the button ups or wrap dresses, is 1 hour 43 minutes, which actually is pretty good. And I have managed to edit so far 3 minutes, which is 3 dresses. So, and there's 125. So a minute a dress, that's going to be a really long video. So I'm still going to break it up into 3. I'm going to break it up into the dresses, which is going to be the longest one, the wraps, and the button-up dresses. But I think what I've decided to do is get them all edited and then put them up on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then have a proper video for the Friday anyway. Because whilst it did take a long time to film and it's going to take a long time to edit, I don't feel like I can put it out as a proper video, like a Tuesday and a Friday and then a following Tuesday video. So it feels like it's going to be a bonus video. It's something that I wanted to do. I'm really glad that I've done. My cupboards look so much better now. And whilst most of the viscose dresses are in desperate need of a press, they're not being quite so crushed as they were. I've got a good 50 hangers, I think, because there was a good 50 dresses that got packed away, I think. Empty again. I've got chocolate all around the gob as well. I'm such an elegant lady. So it was a really fun thing to do. It was really nice to have company doing it as well. I think I was quite thorough. I wasn't maybe as brutal as I should have been, but I think I was quite thorough.
And I think you got rid of more than I was expecting you to.
And actually, I think the reason that there weren't more that went is because I've gotten better at picking fabrics and what to make with them. So there's a bunch of stuff behind you that I've given to Mum because I bought it, and I'm just like the one behind the pink dress on the top, that that one is stunning. It's a viscose from Sems Fabrics. There's 3 meters of it. It's meant to be an Eve dress.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's not my colours.
No.
It's autumn colours, and it's going to look amazing on Mum. So as much as I love it, if I made it up, I doubt I'd reach for it. Like I could probably get away with it if I styled it with a bright yellow cardigan and the yellow belt that Caroline gave me. It would look cool, but it's going to look better on Mum.
Yeah.
And as we have discussed, I don't have enough fabric to make 100 and I mean, I don't even want to know how many pieces individually I've got back there.
That should be our challenge. So next time I come over is to work out exactly your meterage of stash.
No, don't do that. Don't want to do that.
I need to know.
No, I don't want to do that. Okay, and if we do it to yours.
Oh yeah. First fair.
Debbie says, hello all, hello. Vox says, hello everyone. Joker Clee says, well, as Jimmy Buffett once famously said, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Lol. I mean, it's 5 o'clock where you are, 5:49 to be exact, but it just says AM, not PM, but Conchetta says to Joe, please, 6:49 here. I've been awake since 12:30 a.m. I'm going to have to pass on the whiskey and use coffee instead. It's going to be a long day. Conchetta said, and Jimmy Buffett never specified AM or PM. Great minds. Joe Clee says, yeah, I do need to finish cleaning up the disaster we created downstairs from swapping out the hot water tank yesterday. Lol. Oh, yes, good luck with that. Nimue says, I have some gifts to shop fabric. I have some gifts to shop fabric for, so I need to write down how much I need for those and try not to go completely crazy shopping for myself. My stash is getting close to overwhelming. Think of it as insulation for the winter. And problem solved. The Curly Sewista says, I think you have a very melodic voice. Oh, thank you. When I'm editing myself, I think I have a very annoying voice, and I do get to the point of like, come downstairs and I say to the parentals, can I teach either of you to edit? And they're like, no. Damn it. Jennifer says, good evening from Australia. Good evening. So yeah, I did say I was going to talk about coats, and I want to. So yeah, I need to get the 6800 pattern out because I am going to do the red coat thing. I think I've made a decision. Because I love
the big coat in the jacket.
Yeah. I love the shape of this one. This is the same one that Lopsy's using for her pink raincoat at the moment. I love the shape of this one. And my most worn coat is my muted green princess coat. Which I actually do wear quite frequently in the dead of winter, and it is literally just brushed cotton twill and polyester lining with no interlining in that one, because I interlined the rainbow coat and it was so hot. I was like, oh, I need like a slightly less warm coat. But if I have the right thing on underneath, usually scuba, then it's my own personal body sauna suit anyway, so I find that I'm warm enough in that. But I would like a wool coat because my underwater coat that fabric is polyester, I'm pretty sure. For that price it must have been, to be fair. And whilst beautiful, I just really don't reach for it. So I'm thinking the red wool coat, because it's fitted at the top and a super big skirt, it will go over all my giant dresses and look nice. And it's this colour, which I love. So yeah, because Mum earlier this year we made the Vogue coat, the 9040. I think I heard that number right. And Mum doesn't overly like hers because the skirt's too full for her. She feels like it drowns her. And then I've given mine to my sister-in-law because it was a nice coat, but it was too big for me. It probably fit me now actually, but it's black and it's lovely, and it really is lovely. But I just don't feel great in black. And what's frustrating is Mum really wants a black coat. Her black wool coat is literally falling to pieces. It's shredding, and it's not fixable. It's literally shredding. I mean, it's a good 25 years old. She's had it for a while and worn it every season. And so she wanted to replace her black coat. But because of her eyesight and issues with her eyesight, she didn't want to sew in black. So she made up the tan one, and I made up the black one. We probably should have just sewn each other's coats. So she could have sewn the tan, I could have, but I really wanted to sew my own coat. So I am stubborn. And Mum's got a Karen Millen coat, a wool coat that's like a creamy stone colour, which looks amazing on her. And she hasn't been able to wear it for ages because it was too small for her, but she's obviously lost and maintained and is maintaining her current weight from the keto diet. So that one now fits her again. I reminded her of it. She went, oh yeah. Because she was doing the whole kind of panicky thing of like, oh, I don't have a winter coat. It's like, you've got this one, and this one. She went, shush. So, but I bought the red wool, so I'm going to do it. But I think I was going to do the Angela Clayton kind of like floor length one, except I wasn't going to put the train on it. But this just makes more sense because I know this one fits. The amount of people that I've seen make up the Angela Clayton one that have had to make so many changes to it to make it more day-to-day appropriate. It's a beautiful pattern. I'm really glad that I've bought it. And at some point in the future, I may get around to making it, but I think the 6800 it makes more sense. And I do love my green velvet one, which I am going to refashion this year as well. I thought about that as a project for Vlogmas because I've got to take it apart. I've got to add the stuff to it. I've got to redo the lining. And then it's got a load of embroidery or motifs and then beading that I want to put on it as well. So I was thinking maybe that could be my Vlogmas project. Sort of like a coatmas again. I don't know. I do like Brahmas. But I think I would, I don't know. There's been, looking back through the things that I've made this year, there's been so many that have been fails that I think I want to do something that I know I'm going to be really super proud of by the end of Vlogmas. Yeah. Maybe it's these two. Maybe it's these two. Maybe. Where did it is a red coat. Yes. Where did I get to? The chat. Vox says insulation for the winter. I love that one. I will use it next time I want to explain why I bought more fabric. You do. You need it. Like, cost of living crisis has gone right up, so it's better to spend your money on something that is going to have longevity in your life rather than heating bills that, you know, like are for that season only, and obviously don't freeze. But like, you know, wrap yourself in all the fabric, and then you have fabric once you're warm again. So, you know, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Life advice from Sian: don't listen to me. I'm full of nonsense. Joker Clear says the real acid test for the coat would be to come over to this side of the pond and try it outside when it's -90 with the wind howling. Okay, lol. Maybe not that cold, but you get the idea. Yes. I mean, my giant skirted princess coats only have closures to here. The bottom have no closures, and so in the wind it would just be like, hello, I'd look like I have wings. Or, you know, those the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park that have the big frills because it's a green coat. A green coat? Coat. You're like in the wind. Yeah, from smell my dinosaur coat. Yeah, I don't think any of them would probably be appropriate for that kind of weather. No. But I also would not voluntarily put myself out into that kind of weather. I'd wrap myself up in all my fabric and just stay indoors for like 6 months. Don't need the outside. People deliver, right? In that weather. Oh dear. Yes, no. I would definitely not survive in a colder climate. No. So Felicia says, hello everyone, we started daylight savings today and it's thrown us a bit. Has anyone else got out of whack with the time changes? Ours is not till the end of October.
Yeah, we've got another few weeks.
Yeah, we got a little bit longer of British summertime. Summer. What is this word? What does it mean? Sue says, do you have to cut the lining shorter to pull the hem up on the main fabric? I'm planning to make an Anna trench coat. So the Anna trench coat is from Sew Over It, and I think it's unlined. I think. So for me, I don't usually. Coat linings are free floating from the body of the coat, and you bar tack them at the bottom in a couple of places around so that they don't like completely get out of whack. I don't like that because you can see into the interior of the coat, and whilst I am a big fan of bias binding and all of those things, I don't like doing that, especially when you're pressing coating fabric. If you've got bias binding on it, you can sometimes get the relief of the bias binding being pressed into the outer fabric. So for me, I personally, if it's got a wide hem, I personally prefer to draft a hem facing like Gertie's got for the princess coat. She didn't have it on her butterick version, and she updated it for the princess coat for charm patterns. So it's a hem facing, which means the circular hem that you're sewing to another circular hem is only you can clip it and turn it through and understitch it and press it, and that way you're not having to ease in. Loads of coat patterns, this one included, don't have a hem facing on them, and they expect you to press under the coat hem and ease it up into the coat and press it down and then stitch it down, and I don't like it. It looks messy to my eye. So I do hem facings, which you guys have asked for a tutorial for, and I did start filming it with the Vogue coat because I did the same thing with the Vogue coat. Drafted 4-inch deep hem facings for it, and that was black. Could you see what I was sewing? No, you could not. So when I do the red one, I think I'm going to do the hem facing tutorial then. So that's the plan for that one. And I did it for my green velvet coat, but that was the first time I tried it, and I didn't do the hem facing deep enough. So I only did like 2 inches, which is okay, but I prefer a good chunky hem facing. So yeah. But the idea of trying to like turn this under, press it and ease it into the, no. So yes, that one might end up with a chocolate biscuit lining as well, because that will work really well. Because the lining that I've done for that green coat is way too bright. It's too blue or green, and the velvet's very kind of like warm green, and the lining's very cool. So yeah, I'm going to take the lining out completely, because I have more of that lining, but I don't want to piece the lining together because it will have a seam in it, whereas the outside still is going to have a seam in it, but I'm going to cover that up with embroidery. That one could have the chocolate biscuits on the inside as well. I was trying to think what other lining I've got that I've got enough of to do that with, and I don't think I have one. So yeah, chocolate biscuit lining it is, with a slippery sleeve lining, because we all need a slippery sleeve lining. Oh, where did I get to read the chat? So yeah, Sue, I draft my hem facing to be about 4 inches now, and then this one has the has you just cut the bottom of the lining panels a little bit shorter than the upper panels, but I don't like that, so I drafted completely separate lining panels. This is why I didn't want to redo it at the time and make the coat longer, because I was just like, oh, this is so much work, so many pieces. And the way that I do it is I do actually sew my lining to my hem facing so that it hangs over and bubbles. And again, this is not a good example of it because I didn't do that for this one, and I wish I had. It's okay, this one works. But with the hem facing, you can then sew it very securely at the seams, because you can do that invisibly. And then with the interlining, you can sew the hem facing to the interlining the whole way around as well, so you don't have any visible stitching on the outside of the coat. Most wools are thick enough that if you're very careful, you can invisibly stitch it, but if you take just that little bit too much, you end up with like these dents around the bottom of the coat where the invisible stitching is, and you might not be able to see the stitch, but you can see the dent in it. So that's why I like an interlining, and a hem facing. And then I tend to leave the side seam of my coat open and bag everything out, and then turn it through that and hand stitch that bit down. That's my way of doing it, my preference. It's worked really well for me for the ones that I've done. It's not technically the correct tailoring method, but it's worked for me. So yeah, and you guys have asked for a video for that. So for the red one, I will do a tutorial on that. I've just told you, but I will do it with pictures. So, well, video, so that you can see what I'm actually waffling about, because I'm not sure if that sounds like, did that make sense?
I don't know, I wasn't listening.
Excellent. I'm glad I'm so amusing.
Working out roses, lady.
Oh. Where did I get to? Caroline says, Brahmas could be fun, but with everything else you do in December, I think the coats are a better bet. Yeah, I think I don't want to get discouraged with the amount of fitting things I'm going to have to do. Maybe if I don't get to go see my brother in January, maybe I could do Brahmas except it be January. I don't know. We need to think of a pun for that. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Jacob Clee says, "Don't worry, I have logs and a baler twine, and you can I can use to keep you on the ground." Conchetta says, "Oh, Jacob, please, that's a serious winter. I don't think I'd make it out of there." And Caroline says, "Dilophosaurus coat, lol." Dilophosaurus. I was not even remotely close with that one. The flappy ones. You know, there's a Japanese designer that's made a pencil sharpener that's a lizard's face, and when you sharpen your pencil, he gets a ruffle. Oh, I mean, it's very messy for like the graphite. Everything goes all over the floor. I love my current one because it all goes into the, and it's like not messy, but that sounds so cute. And well, it looks so cute. And I need it. I need it. Joe Clear says, "Yeah, it can get chilly out here on the prairies in the winter, lol. But when it gets that cold, I just throw another log on the fire, turn on the space heater, and sew up something thick and fluffy." Conchetta says, "I complain when it's cold. I can't feel my face, and that happens in New England winters. I can't even imagine." Yeah, no. Catherine says, "I did bias binding hem facing for the McCall's 6800 coat, 4 centimetre wide, black cotton facing." Ooh, nice. Conchetta says, "That coat is gorgeous. Thank you." Sue says, "Fab, thank you." Charlotte says, "Hello. I've just finished helling and putting buttons on my button-down dress." Hemming, I'm thinking, not helling. Might be wrong. You could be helling it. And the next project I will start will be the McCall's 6800, short version to get a feel for the construction, and after that, a long one. Nice. I highly recommend. This is the book I use. Honest God. Can I find it? No, I cannot. Where did you go?
Not touched it, promise.
There it is. It was hiding. This one. Highly recommend this book. Highly recommend this book. There was a few things that are mentioned in here that the McCall's pattern doesn't talk you through, like the tailoring of the collar and interfacing and stuff like that. So, yes, highly recommend that book. And I will put an affiliate link to it in the description of this video when I'm finished, because I will remember to do that. And if I don't, poke me. The short one, I will say, is very floofy. Very, very floofy. It makes me feel very, very hippie, and I don't actually like it over any of my clothes, even my big skirts, because I don't very often wear giant petticoats. So it doesn't feel, it feels too floofy for the clothing underneath. I think the longer one's going to weight it down a bit more and still be floofy. But I do see what you mean about doing it to get your eye in and try it, and before you kind of go for the longer one, because the longer one obviously does take a lot more fabric. Let's see. Sue says it makes sense. Oh wow! I actually made sense. That's it. That's amazing. Catherine says lingerie and January smooshed together. Lingerie. Yeah. You're onto something there. Maybe tweak it a bit more, I think, because I can't pronounce it properly. But I like it. Nimue says, "I'm taking all the notes of the coat making. Now that I have my toile fodder, I am running out of excuses." You can do it! Loads of you have asked for a sew along for this one. Loads of you have. It's actually a really simple coat, honestly. It's princess themed. The most difficult part is the notched collar, and there's the McCall's 6891 shirt pattern sew along. It's exactly the same method for this collar, notched collar, as that one. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, honestly, it is literally princess themes. And then that tailoring book will tell you the extra little bits that you need to put in to just bring it up to that, like a backstay, which is very easy to draft. and there's some extra interfacing pieces that they recommend for that kind of a collar. And it goes through speed tailoring, semi-couture tailoring, and then fully hand like pad stitching and everything like that book. And I went for speed tailoring because I am a lazy bugger and I was trying to make a million coats. But yeah, it's definitely an easier coat to do, because princess seams are quite nice to fit as well. I think I like princess seam things. I find them easier to fit. I think Nimue, you turned a dress jumpsuit pattern into princess seams because the curve with the darts that you were getting was just ridiculous, wasn't it? And it was just like, princess seams is going to make this fit so much better. So yeah. Charlotte says, I'm a bit scared to use thicker fabric on my basic machine for the first time, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, test, loads of tests. Get yourself some swatches of your fabric and test. I'm trying to think, what's the thickest fabric I sewed on my little featherweight? Yeah, there are bits that do get thick that might be problematic. But yeah, just try it, test swatches first before you like plunge in and spend loads of money on coating, because coating is not cheap. Michelle says, morning, doing a 5k charity walk today. You all are my entertainment motivation. You can do it. Making me feel very, very lazy sitting here and doing nothing. Charlotte says, thanks for the tip. Seriously good book. Michelle says, hello to Mum. What's the plan for today's chat? That's not Mum, it's Jojo. There's a Jojo in the corner.
It's a wild Jojo.
Yes. Yes. Catherine said, we're talking about coats, and I was thinking I might try and do some hand sewing, but I remember from trying to do the hand sewing with the Peeps on the Zoom call the other day, and I just end up ignoring you. So I'm going to hang this up, and I will come back to this later. Where's the? There it is. Found it. Oh, okay. I've got something that I would like your input in, all of you, and you in the corner as well. Ooh, this fabric. It's silk. It is beautiful. Mum got it for me from Beckford Silks for Christmas one year. There's 3 meters of it because that's the minimum you could order. And I bought it to make a very specific skirt, which I will find in a second. I don't wear pattern bottoms, so I need your help. But let's catch up with the chat first, and then we'll go and do the thing. Catherine says, William G has had iron on Taylor's canvas. I ordered a meter to try, then they rang me to say they only had half a meter left, which had a fault on it. Would I like it for free? Yes, please. Nice. Charlotte says, I'm already very hippie, so I don't think it'll make much of a difference. Nice. Cynthia says, good morning from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Good morning. Jokingly says, Branuary. Lol, February would likely be something along the lines of Bralentines. That's tickled her. Charlotte says, I used to absolutely hate hand stitching, but lately have found it goes really well while listening to an audiobook, and the results are also quite nice. Yes. Catherine says, I'm a huge fan of Microtex needles for difficult fabrics. Makes machines go through easier. Just get the right weight. Yes, good tip. Nimue says, on darts on that McCall's dress are badly placed and were super pointy, plus gaping to fix meant switching it to princess seams as it was easier to get a nice fit. Very much recommend. Yeah, I still want to make that pattern. I can't remember what number it is, but I do want to make that. Conchetta says, I'm leaving okaying to upgrade my machine. Any recommendations? I sew clothes and handbags, so it would have to be able to sew through some thick layers. Thanks. Looking to upgrade. Yes, I got that. I mean, I am the worst one to recommend because I would say Benina, but my usual response to those kind of questions is go to your local sewing room dealer, even if it's a couple of hours away, because I know in America, Conchetta, I think you're in America, aren't you? Or are you in Canada? I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. But my advice would be to go to your local dealer, because they're going to be the ones that are servicing your machine for a start. And what I would do is go in, try and make sure that you don't have like, I mean, it's not always easy. The dealer we had on the island technically sold a bunch of different brands, but was like brother everything, brother, and it was like I don't want brother. Oh, I don't want to have it force fed down my throat, because when we moved here, he was trying to tell me to sell mine and get a brother machine. I was like, I've never used one of those. I like this one. I want you to service this one, please. And he's like, no. It's like, okay, so I've had to go to the mainland, which is fine. But you want to find a dealer local to you and tell them your budget, tell them what you want to sew, go in and play. And if they're a reputable dealer, they should let you do that, and they should have advice for you, and they should be able to point you in the right direction of like, how about this one? How about that one? That would be my advice always, is to go do that. So yeah. But if it's in the budget, the 8 series is amazing. You don't need it. It's totally ridiculously overpriced, but I love mine. Sue says, ooh, that looks like a beautiful dress you've just hung up. Yes, you guys have seen it. It's the grace dress I made earlier this year. I have absolutely no idea if I can squeeze my stuff into it at the moment, because I have put some weight on. Although I have, after we went out for dinner last night, after last night's meal, I have lost 2 pounds.
Wow.
I know. I ate 2 pounds of meat. I had half a cow
there every night.
Yes, and we had 3 scoops of ice cream. And I ate all of the fries and all of the salad. I literally ate everything on my plate, didn't I? I gave you the peppercorn sauce, but other than that, they were charging £2.50 for each pot of sauce, but the steak I ordered came with 3 different sauces. So, which is like £7. What, £7.50 worth of sauce?
Yeah, just on sauces alone. It's like, what?
I said to her, as long as you don't want this one, you can have any of mine. She was like, okay. So you had the peppercorn sauce, because Jojo had a steak as well, and ice cream. But yeah, I've lost 2 pounds.
Excellent stuff.
I know. I'm quite impressed with that. So clearly steak all the way. But what was I saying? Yes, that dress. You have seen it. You've seen it. This one already. It's been in a lookbook and a review. It's the KB Grace dress, the one where I did 4 skirts on 1 bodice. So it's the double circle skirt. Oh, so you've seen it in that video as well, where I was being really like, so you know, to do the thing, you just need to do this, this, and this, and you end up with this many pieces. And then everyone was like, surely you could just do this, and you'd end up with 2 pieces, and they just cut it out. And it was like, oh yeah. My way's fine too. My pattern pieces were not remotely even as well. If you look at the pieces on my skirt, the width of them at the top, I didn't divide it equally. It would have been really sensible to do that, but I did not even occur to me. But that's a really good insight to how my brain works, because that was problem solving. That was literally how my brain was going about doing the thing that I wanted to do. It's the same with the Halston skirt that I did, which I do have some fabric here that I want to try that skirt again, but from my sloper rather than from the pattern, because I love the shape of it. It just really didn't fit me very well at the hips and the waist. But like loads of people watched that video and were just like, oh, surely you could have done this. It's like, that's how your brain works. This is how my brain works. I'm not saying this is the right way. I'm saying this is how I got to the end goal. Like this might be a very good like advertisement for this is not how to do things, or how to make life way more difficult than it needs to be. But it was how my brain works and how I got to the finished goal that I was happy-ish with. But yeah, it didn't help that when I started I was one weight and I'd lost a bunch of weight when I came to model it either. That didn't help, but that one's gone. Somebody else has that one now. So, Catherine says, making a corduroy jacket, medium weight needle cord, using a size 80 microtex, goes through it easy as a hot knife through butter. Nice. Michelle says, hi Jojo, I didn't realise you were there too. It's a whole party today. It is.
Hello, hello.
Jesse says, America, Rhode Island, thanks for the advice. Yeah, that would 100% go to your local dealer, the one that, because you need to have a relationship with them anyway, because they're going to be the people that service your machine, and it is worth getting your machine serviced. But yeah, tell them your budget, tell them what you want to do with it, ask them what they recommend. They should let you play on their display machines, and you see which one you like. So that would be my recommendations. Catherine says, also, if you have a local friend with a different, fairly new machine, go see them and play. Yep. Debbie says, we went out last night too, was to celebrate youngest's 19th birthday. Wow. Did you have a nice night? We did, didn't we? We were very rock and roll. We were like in bed by 8.
Oh, yeah.
The only time they could, we specifically wanted to go to this place, the only time they could fit us in was 5 p.m. 5 till 7. We had to leave at a specific time as well. We left at like 7:30, didn't we?
Yeah. We were at the pensioner shift. We were in with all the little old ladies having their tea.
But I hadn't had lunch, so I was fine.
Yeah.
Because I knew I wanted to have like half a cow, so
it was amazing.
It was good.
It was so nice.
Joker Clear says, I haven't been out on the town now in over 5 years now, I think. Been that long since we celebrated our anniversary too, and it was 15 years married 2 days ago. Oh, congratulations.
Happy anniversary.
Sue says, I have lots of dope moments too. Lol. Debbie says she did have a nice time. Good. Yeah, let me see if I can get the picture up for this skirt, because it's actually a chic-wish skirt, so it's not even like a super fancy skirt. Leah, is it Leah from the Great British Sewing Bee? Not the last one, the one before, maybe the one before that. She has this fabric as well and has made a beautiful dress out of it. But I saw this skirt and had pinned it because it's really pretty. Yeah, it's from Chic-wish, like I say. So, you know, it's not super fancy or anything. But I just really liked it. I thought it was really pretty. So it's just a knife pleated skirt. So, yeah. Wait.
Oh, what? Wrong glasses on.
Look! Oh, you can't see a thing?
Yeah, I can't see a thing.
It's a knife pleated skirt with this print, basically. So when I was on Beckford Silks, because you do have to just, you know, every now and again go out and hang out on Beckford Silks, I saw that they had this Boca print silk satin, and I was just like, oh. So I was just going to make that skirt with this. I don't wear skirts, so I need to work out what bodice to put on this. Now, it is a very floopy silk satin. It's not overly wide as well, so it's like 110 wide. It's very floopy. So what I was going to do was cut it on the cross grain and just make, like I say, a skirt out of it, and it's actually like make a waistband out of it and just have it as a skirt, but I won't wear it. So I'm thinking I need to cut it panels and seam them together to the length I want, and whatever I've got left make, because if the skirt's not full enough, I won't like it either. But I'm thinking some kind of like cowl neck at the top, and I'm wondering, because I've got the velvet and the silk, embroidered silk dupioni that I want to do a similar dress to this. So I was wondering, maybe like if I do what would look like a Victorian Swiss waist, but actually be integral to the dress, out of like a black silk dupioni, and then did the drape at the top, because then it wouldn't need too much fabric. Is my theory. What do you guys think? Let's see.
Are you still making the Sicily split dress?
Yes. Ooh, I don't know if it's wide enough for the pattern pieces. Because you have to cut them on the bias. It would end up having to be a mini. I wouldn't wear it as a mini.
It's not going to be long enough. It's not going to be wide enough.
Yeah.
On, is it?
I don't think it will be, no.
No.
I can technically I can get more of this because they do print on demand, but it would be print on demand, so the likelihood of it being exactly the same colours, it would be very, very close, but there can be shifts in colour between batches. It's the same with most fabrics. And also you have to order a minimum 3 meters, and this is something like £35 a meter. So ordering another 3 meters is a possibility, but would be really expensive. But it is so pretty. And I think I can get away with it because whilst it's a black background, it does have like the bright corals and teals and turquoisey colours in it. So I think with a cowl neckline.
Yeah, it's not going to be close to your face. So
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's so pretty. I have to have a look at Leah's and see what she did with it. See if I can find her on Instagram. Let's see. Anyway, says it's always easier to prove on the method you see somebody else than rather than having to start from the beginning. That's why commenters are always cleverer, and we all think differently anyway. Yeah, it was just so funny when the minute that I think it was you and somebody else, I think it might have been Michelle, somebody else said like, oh, you could just do that, and it was just like light bulb moments. Like, of course you could.
Joy.
Damn it. Leah. So Leah Nichols. Great British Sewing Bee finalist from 2019. I love her Instagram. She always makes like really kind of like fashion forward, beautiful, bright things. But she did have this fabric and she's made something in it. And somebody tagged me in it and was like, look, she's made it from the fabric you've got. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, yeah, please let me tag me when you make yours up. I'd love to see what you do with it. That was a good like 2 years ago. That was a good 3 years ago. 12th of January 2020. That's her dress. I would show you, but you can't see.
Yeah. No point waving it at me at the minute.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very beautiful. As is the beautiful kitty. She has beautiful black kitty, little house panther. So cute. So cute. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I think I'm kind of enamored with the shirt waist, like the Swiss waist, but integral kind of idea, because that's what I want to do with, like I say, this red and the embroidered silk I've got. There's the black. Yeah, and those blacks don't look awful to get. Yeah, I'm kind of enamored with that idea because it gives it some structure as well, which is nice. So I would, because I'm going to have to draft a pattern for this one as well. So, which is part of my my little red dress project for this year is going to be this. Because Mum bought me this from India, and then I've got this from Saudi. So I've got silk velvet, silk du peony. So I'm thinking like a peaked like waist there, then the cowl neck with the tiny little cap sleeves, and then a big skirt. I think I've got 3 meters of this. But I think that would also look, I mean, obviously I'd do slightly different skirt with this one. But I think that would look quite nice. So yeah, I've been threatening to do this one for years and I keep chickening out because there isn't a pattern out there. I'd have to draft it myself. But obviously this is not the wearable muslin for that one. I have got plenty of fabrics that I can use as wearable muslins for those. But that's what I think I want to do with this one. Because for the longest time it was going to be a knife pleated skirt. And no, not anymore.
It's so pretty.
It is so pretty. They do Beckford silks have got like a ivory with blue flowers on it as well, which was so close to being bought. They have very many pretty ones. the Dior silks that Mum bought me back from Kuwait. They were going to be turned into skirts this year, but I do have to go and buy and colour match some silk satin as a lining because they're devore, so they're slightly see-through, so they need to be lined because otherwise, hello, here is minickers, which is not a good look. And so I can't afford to do that this year, so they've been bumped to next year. But the thing is as well, I was going to make skirts out of them. I don't wear skirts by themselves, so again, they're going to have to be dresses, or at the very least, like a cowl neck top that can be worn with them to look like a dress. But would I really wear them as separates? Maybe. I don't know. We shall see. But those ones have been postponed till next year because of funding issues for the £30 a metre silk lining that I need for them. And that's one thing that Leah did say in her post about that silk, was she was doing like a mini tutorial about it, which is like working with silk. She's like, the first thing that you need to do, you've got to line it in silk as well. You've got to line it in the similar fabric weight and drape and feel of fabric if you want it to have the same drape and swish that the outer fabric has, because if you don't, then they're going to fight against each other. So she's like, I know it's annoying and expensive, but silk linings for silks. All right, fine. I have to buy more silk, I will. God damn it. So yes. Maribel, I'm so sorry I don't speak French. Oh, and apparently you don't speak very good English as well, because I'm just about understanding what you're saying. J'adore tous les modèles et les tissus que vous employez. I think that means I really like the fabrics that you use. Malheureusement, je ne comprends pas l'anglais. To my dismay, I don't speak very good English. Et je ne trouve pas ici tous les patrons et pas de tous les tissus qui sont magnifiques. I think that means that you really like the patterns and the fabrics that I use. Thank you. I am so sorry that my French is so atrocious. The understanding, not too bad. The pronunciation, awful. Una says, what about putting ivory satin bodice on it? Oh, on that... Oh, you know, I'd never thought of that. Making it look like a top and a skirt, but it's still a dress. Do you know what? If I don't have... Oh, Joker Cleese is translating for me. Thank you so much, French-Canadian person. Yay. Because clearly my French is terrible. If I don't have enough to do the skirt that I want with that fabric, as well as doing the little drape at the top, that could be a good idea. Like making, I could even do, rather than maybe, oh, I don't, because I think a darker color would look better than that than with an ivory. So I was thinking maybe like, because I've got quite a lot of black silk to do peony, because I stole all of Mum's. I mean, I didn't steal, I gave her fabric in return. But I could do like a black bodice with some kind of lighter color collar around it. I'm going to have a play with that, aren't I? Yes. Maribel is also asking, I think, where I get my online fabric from. Whenever possible, I always link everything in the description down below. So there's always links to the fabrics and patterns that I use when I possibly can, which probably means actually nothing. Oh God, I've just I've offended Joker Cleese as well. French Canadian, lol. I'm in the prairies, lol. That's about 1,200 miles from French Canada. I'm so sorry. Your French is obviously better than mine though. Oh no, Charlotte's replying in French. Thank you, Charlotte. I was going, oh no, there's another French person I can't understand. But no, Charlotte has been very helpful in responding. Niwe says, could you modify the bias cowl woven tee pattern to work as a bodice in the fabric? The pieces would be shorter and more efficient to cut, wouldn't they? Oh, I did actually, when I was doing the short the other day with the 6563 Savannah t-shirt on it, I did think, you know, if I extended that down to be a dress, that would actually be quite a nice bias cut dress. I still think the piece would be too, because those pieces as is are already fairly giant on fabric. So I don't think I'd be able to get a bias cut dress out of the width of that fabric without piecing it, which is not the end of the world if done properly, but yeah. Charlotte says, cherchez le patron McCall, Vogue et Butterick. You ont aussi des instructions en français. They also have, so the patterns I use are McCall's, Vogue and Butterick, and they do have instructions in French as well, which they do, and Spanish. Maribel says, J'en ai trouvé certaines, mais pas tous ceux qu'elle montré. Merci, Charlotte. Ah, you guys are understanding each other. This is great. Thank you. I'm so sorry for my terrible pronunciation. I probably ought to just stop, wouldn't I? Una says, ooh, that's a really good tip, re-silk lining. Didn't know that. Yeah, well, like I say, Leah said it, and I totally agree with her. I think she's right. I think if you, so for like my silk dupe peonies, I interline them with cotton lawn. Sometimes actually calico, the red silk dress that I made, I interlined the skirt pieces with calico and then interlined them again with, no, and then lined them with cotton lawn, because the cotton lawn was nice next to my skin, but the calico gave it the body that I wanted. And then I lined the bodice with, interlined the bodice with cotton lawn and then lined it with cotton lawn again. But that's because this is a very stable silk and it doesn't have drape and flow and fluidity. So cotton lawn for that was totally fine. But for all the drapey silks, which you can see in that cubby hole up there, 100% you want a similar fabric, if not the same fabric, in an appropriate lining color. If the thing that you're doing has drape and fluidity, and if you're making something with that fabric, it would have drape and fluidity. You wouldn't try and do a structured dress out of any of those silk satins because you don't hate yourself and want to make yourself pull your own eyeballs out. So yeah. Caroline says, and I can't find here pattern and lovely fabrics. Oh, thank you very much, Caroline. Oh gosh, all your language is much better than mine. Joker Clee says, it also means she can't find the patterns and fabrics you use too. Thank you. Buttons is here. Hey everyone, hello. I hope you're feeling better. Joker Clee says, I'll forgive you this time. Next time you're going to need to apologise in person. Lol. Okay. As long as I can make the baby calls. But yes. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, your French is way better than mine. I'm genuinely kind of impressed with myself that I kind of got the gist of what she was saying, though. Like, if I'd have heard it, I wouldn't have had a hope in hell. But seeing it written, it was like, ah, okay, I kind of get. But yeah, thank you very much, you guys. Charlotte says, I'm just Belgian. We tend to know more languages as there are 3 national languages already. And then I also know English, of course. I love the of course. That's the one thing I hate about being English. It's just like, we are just so used to everyone speaking our language that there's zero effort made on our behalves to, yeah. I would love to be a polyglot. Maribel is in Switzerland. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, somebody asked me once if I could have any superpower, what would it be? And I want to be able to speak, read, listen, understand, and write every language that there ever was or ever will be. That would be my superpower. I would love that. That would just be so amazing. I am so in awe of translators. Like Laurel's a translator, Alex is a translator. I'm just absolutely in awe of them. I was watching a video the other day. There was this guy who teaches a university course on international music, and they were challenging him with 5 different people from different countries to come and speak to him. He had a blindfold on, so he didn't have any visual cues. So all he could hear was them talking to him in their native language. And they said to him, how many languages do you speak? He was like, oh, English. But I understand about 250 languages because I teach this course and I listen to all these different musics. And then so they had someone from Belarus, they had someone that spoke Cantonese, someone that spoke Finnish, and somebody that was French Creole, and then somebody from Ivory Coast, I think. So again, an African dialect of French, you know, like, and it was amazing. He was just like, oh, could you say this word for me? And they said the word, and he was like, you're from here. And they got all of them right except Belarus,
Wow.
because the Balkan countries, their languages are very, very similar. And he thought he was from Croatia. No, he was from Macedonia, not Belarus. Sorry, he was from Macedonia, completely different part of Europe. Whoops. But yeah, it was really interesting watching, and it was literally just from him listening to all these songs. Like, he had no idea what they were saying in these songs, but he could literally hear these languages, and it was just like amazing. Yeah. And he was like, oh no, I only speak English. So that would be my superpower. Nimoy says, I was thinking the tee just down to the waist, and then whatever skirt you want, combining them into a dress. Yeah, possibly. Oh, mother's arrived as well. Oh yeah, we were supposed to be going. It's 1:45. Hello.
Hello.
That's a very nice dress.
I think it's a lovely dress. It's beautiful. Everyone admired it in church.
She's wearing her 9076.
Is that what it is? Ta-da! Yay! Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it.
Yeah, that's good. You know, that one is exactly the same pattern as that fruity one that I finished.
This? No.
Fruity. Navy fruit. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're wearing.
Good. So that's for me too.
Bring it over.
Yeah, that works. It's lovely, this.
Yeah. So this is exactly the same size as what you're wearing currently.
So it's mine?
No.
No. Why?
Oh, the only difference is the sleeves on this one are longer. The sleeves on this one was too short for me. So I've made the sleeves on this longer, so it actually wouldn't fit you at all. It would look horrendous.
I think it would look very good.
Yeah, Mum fell in love. I bought this fabric. Mum fell in love
I love
with
it. I've made a shirt.
Yeah, well, I went back to order her 5 meters so she could have some for herself and a little bit extra for me, and they only had 1.5 meters left, so that's why you made a shirt, because that's all you could have. So yes. Are you coming to tell us that it's 1 o'clock and the craft show thingy is only out until 3?
No, I'll just come and say I'm ready. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a down at the seafront. There's a craft show thing going on. Mum's left the dog on the wrong side of the door. That was very silly. So yeah, we were thinking we'd mosey on down and have a look. We need to go and get some cash out first, though. Jojo paid for my dinner last night, so I need to go and get her some cash and give it back to her. The pitter-pat of teeny tiny little feet. So I'm going to catch up with the chat. You want the hooks and eyes, don't you?
Hmm?
You want
No, I put them on. I had some up the top, but it doesn't work.
Do you need fur hook and eye? Would that be better?
Hmm?
Do you need a fur hook and eye? Would that be better?
Yeah, because this is how it's made to go like this.
Yeah.
But she has to wear it like this.
Oh, I thought one went over the back and one went over the front. Does that, like, so her arm went through the neck hole as well?
So yeah, it just kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, that does work.
Yeah.
I think they need to not be on at the same point. Yeah, you need to, something like that. But anyway, let me finish up there here. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, maybe
Let's
set
see.
either side. alternate them, so
Carol says, when in doubt, Anna bodice. The trouble with that, I do see what you mean, but the trouble with that is it's such a drapey silk that I think the cowl neck would look better. Joker Clee says, yo, Buttons, what's up? Carol says, good morning from New York City. Noelia says, hi, everyone. Hi, Noelia. Joker Clee says, well, that's because I had 12 years of it in school and took basic conversational French after that. Lol, didn't hurt that I spent a lot of time talking to myself in French while doing field work. Lol, that would help. Montana001 says, learning a foreign language, French, was one of the best skills I've ever acquired. Yeah, I keep trying to have a go at Duolingo and things like that, so I think I need to try that. Joker Clee says, like Bambara, since it's the African trade language, I used to be able to speak a little bit of it back in the day. Maribel says Spanish. Yeah, a lot of I don't speak Spanish. I speak
Maybe
teeny tiny, like
a little wedge
tiny
out the
bit
back,
of Spanish as well.
possibly, 'cause you've got a
Joker says hi, Mum. Debbie says hi, Jane. Rotten Rouse says good morning, Peeps. Good morning, Jane. Nimue says I'm still mad at the 5 years of French I took in school that were basically for nothing because it was so badly done. I lost most of it. The loss was totally expected with the learning of Latin in uni. Joker Clay says, morning, Ralph. You are buried under your furry rodent control officer again. Nimue says, craft show by the sea. Sounds lovely. Rotten Rouse says to Nimue, I took Latin in high school. I was not allowed to. I was not good enough at languages to take Latin. There was a class of 8 girls, 8 people in my year that were allowed to take Latin. Joker Cleese says, Rotten Rouse says to Joker Cleese, no, they have abandoned me for the cool tiles floor today. And Rachel then says, good morning. And it seems I'm only getting to the end. So goodbye too. Yes, we are going to go and look at some crafty stuff by the sea. But apparently it's kind of like a D-stash. And it will be interesting to see if anyone's got any actual like products there to sell as well. But from the wording of it, it seems like a bit of a D-stash.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go do that. So I hope you've enjoyed. There will be, thank you very much to the Patreon peeps for bearing with me. There wasn't a waffle this week. There will be next week, and I will tell you why. We had a bunch of fun and games this week. Dad decided that a hospital visit was in order, so we've had no sleep here for a couple of days. So yeah, I mean, it's not an excuse for not doing a video, but it's one of the reasons that the video didn't come out. But there will be a Tuesday video. There will be the Wednesday Zoom call. There will be 2 Patreon waffles, and there will be a Friday video. And I'm going to try and start doing the outfits of the day again, because now that I can wear dresses, I'm more excited about getting dressed in the morning. So yeah, I will see you all next Sunday for the live hangout, and for all of that in the interim. So yes, thank you for joining us, and I shall see you soon. Bye.